Uh, Hi, my name is Manish Srivastav. I am the CTO with eGov Foundation and welcome you all to eGov Talks. Today we have a fascinating guest, Amitabh Nag. He's the CEO for Bhashini in Digital India Corporation. And as we all know, access to government services is a huge issue, right? While most of us on the call are very savvy with using digital interfaces, web-based, mobile-based interfaces, we forget the fact that these are not natural interfaces. These need to be learned, and this is not easy for people who are not used to these interfaces to interact with services that are being delivered through these kind of interfaces. And I think a lot of work has been going on for decades on enabling natural human interactions and voice, language. And I think what the Bhashini team has been able to put together is a fascinating set of technologies, which in my view can be extremely transformative. And I think that's where we are looking deeply into these technologies and seeing how we will change the way we will build systems. So once again, welcome Amitabh. Thanks for doing this for us. So we have people from eGov and also many of our partners who are building and using Digit. They are here, and it'll be great to hear from you. Over to you.
Thank you, Manish, and thank you for having me here. And we are talking about language inclusivity in citizen service delivery. Actually, maybe this is a project which actually covers the last mile or the final mile. We had Aadhaar, which has actually touched every citizen almost. There's no one who has been untouched by now or by it now. And after that, there's particular technology or this particular project is trying to bridge the last mile. So when we are trying to bridge the last mile, what we are trying to talk about is translation, so that we understand what one speaks, right? And the other person on the other side is able to understand what is being said, what is being talked about, and interpret it accordingly. Of course, one of the major challenges which we have is that though internet is proliferating, the digital divide as well as the literacy divide, does not allow you to actually allow last mile or the final mile to use it unhindered, and making it accessible. Systems are not accessible to them. So we need to actually work towards that particular goal. And Bhashini is a project which is actually trying to work towards the goal. So its goal is to actually transcend the language barrier. That means bridge the language barrier and try to do something beyond it. How we are going to do it is what is depicted on the slide, that on the left-hand side, we are having various mechanisms of collecting data. One of them is the crowdsourcing mechanism, which we call Bhasha Dan, where we are invoking citizens to, looking at citizens to contribute to the data sets which we want to create and give the Bhasha Dan. There are organizations with whom we are requesting that please contribute to it, and there are some organizations who have come forward to contribute to the data. Then, once this data is contributed, there are specific organizations which have actually, worked to make it as a data set which is usable for AI training. There we are working with the R&D institutes, research and development institutes, which are there, specifically almost all the IITs and NITs, triple ITs, etc., who use these data sets to create AI models for translation. And then once we are we have these models, we render it through API interfaces, and that is used by the startup and industries and government to deliver products and services. So this entire cycle is actually pretty exciting if you are actually looking at it from a perspective of what are the possibilities. And some of these we will discuss as we go by. Next slide, Aparna, please. There are almost, when I was talking about the technology partners, there are almost 70 of them. We have IIT Madras, IIT Kanpur. It means anyone which is having a bigger font does not mean that there is something specific significant about it, but it is just that we wanted you to have a view on all the institutes, almost all the institutes which are part of this particular venture in some way or the other. So when the mission was announced, what we did was divided the mission into about 8 projects. And those projects are actually related to different fields. So we had a speech group, which was basically automatic speech recognition. So that that was led by IIT Madras and is having about 20 or 22 institutes under its banner. That's one stream. Then we had IIIT Hyderabad. IIT Madras also does the machine translation for 22 languages with English as the pivot. So if you give them text to translate, they will translate into another language with the English as the pivot on that. That means the language will first be translated to English and then to the target language. So it recognizes the speech, it translates the language, and then text to speech is also with IIT Madras. So they do that particular activity within themselves. There's another group in IIT Madras which actually does the data collection, which is also, they have the lab for AI for Bharat, which is attached to this IIT Madras. And they are working with us for this particular venture of collecting the data from the ground up, from the various nooks and corners of the country. They have about 200 plus people on field who are collecting the data, and they are curating the data and annotating and labeling it so that the data sets are available for all the other people to use, all the other institutes to use. Then you have the other institutes like IIIT Hyderabad contributing to, we had IIT Madras creating English as the pivot, and IIIT Hyderabad is creating with other Indian languages, which is Indian language to Indian language pair. That means, say, Tamil to Telugu without converting it into intermediate pivot. So that's another project which we are saying. We are just seeing that whether it would be more efficient to do that in a directional way, or we need to basically be happy with what we had from English pivot. And those results are yet to come in as far as the search is concerned. So we talked about automatic speech recognition, we talked about machine translation, we talked about text to speech. Then there is another thing which we do is to do the optical character recognition. And the optical character recognition is about, recognizing the, printed text and converting into processing text, and then translating the processing text into whatever language you want. So that for translating, you will use the machine translation, but the optical character recognition of all 22 languages printed text is part of this particular project. We go beyond, we want the handwritten text also to be recognized. We want the, other text, which is basically the text which is around for on the scenic text, which is printed across railway stations and other places are to be recognized. So that is another project which we are up to. And then we are also doing transliteration. Names generally are transliterated. They cannot be translated. It's known as the same language, same words across the languages. So that's another part which we are doing. And this is a broad level of services which we are taking. Now, when we do this, let me put this across as where we are reaching. We do 12 languages today very well as far as speech is concerned. That means the computer will recognize speech in 12 languages, and it will be able to synthesize speech in 10, 12 languages. And we do machine translation in 2 languages. We are at OCR at about 14 languages, and transliteration we do at all 22 languages. So effectively, if you actually see it, we are, if you speak to the computer will be able to understand you and then respond to you if there is a logic which is there, and maybe respond to you in a different language if you say that my target language is different. So the possibility which it comes across is not only we are in a position to transcend the language barrier, but we are also some way bridging the digital divide and literacy divide. So that's the way we are working upon. So you don't need to be actually literate to communicate digitally. And you don't need to be knowing computer. We can use your voice to actually do a lot of activities. So in the next slide, which is there, it is going to be some of the use cases which we will be presenting, which will give you an idea as how this entire vision is getting translated. And when we talk about translation, it was very minimal or very subjective that one language is heard, talked on some other language. But when we looked at the use cases and the industry started building it, they came up with a very interesting activity. And my whole submission on this particular, when I was trying to come across to this particular session, was that I would perhaps be able to invoke some of the bright minds to create some of the use cases which are much beyond what is there today. So over to you, Aparna. If you can run the use cases while I can support you in terms of whatever information or collections.
Sure. Thank you, sir. And hello, everyone from eGov team and everyone who has joined externally. So as Amitabh sir said, we'll be going through some use cases which are powered by Bhashini, and they're up and running and have a lot of transformational impact and have the potential to change a lot of lives for the last mile. So very first use case which I'm going to run is how a simple phone call can make a financial transaction, and have a look. And also I'll also enter the phone number at the end. So if you want to experiment, you can experiment as well. But here is the video.
Welcome to Ultra Cash Teamwork. Please let me know how can I assist you.
Sorry, Aparna, it's very low, the volume.
Sorry?
Can you? Volume is very low.
Achha, volume is very low. Wait 1 second. I'll start again.
Good morning, Rahul. Welcome to Ultra Cash Bhim Voice.
Perfect.
Please let me know how can I assist you.
I want to transfer 100 rupees to 8797501890.
You are transferring 100 rupees to Kumar Prashant. Please enter 6-digit UPI PIN of your State Bank of India account ending with 5678. Great. Your transaction of 100 rupees to Kumar Prashant is successful. Would you like to save this mobile number with a name?
Yes.
Please provide me with the name you want to save the number as.
Prashant.
Would you like to save this contact with name Prashant?
Yes.
Great. Now you can transfer money to this number just by saying Prashant. Thank you for using Ultra Cash Bhim Voice.
So, just the intervention here, if you actually look at it, what it did was that it asked you what you want to do. You said, I want to do the payment, and this can be multilingual. You can try it in Hindi on the number which, Aparna gives you. And what it did was then it got the intent which was there, that is payment, it got the intent. Then it asked for it asked for the number which is there. So you gave the number. number is generally spoken as text. So it converted the text into the computer recognizable digits, which can be treated as a phone number. Then it treated the cache also. So it is inverse text normalization, which we call. And then it has text to speech synthesis. So if you do it multilingual way, then it also translates text to text. So all these technologies are put into this use case. Voice-based payment is what we are talking about. There are multiple such use cases which are on pipeline. Voice-based gas booking, FASTag recharging. Wherever you are making payment, those are the places where we perhaps may see these technologies come. Go to the next one.
Yeah, sure. And one thing also I want to add, like, since we all know for the last mile, the biggest challenge has been the lack of internet. So the solution also help, transcend those barriers as well, the resource constraint barrier for the last mile. And adding to Sir, what Sir mentioned, how this can be the voice-based application can also be used to book services. So here's the next one, where you can, you'll see how through voice you can book a ticket at IRCTC.
आमा आवतकाले माते मुंबई इथी दिल्ली हिनी टिकट करवावा मांगुं છું.
મહેરબાની કરીને તમારી પસંદગીની ટ્રેન પસંદ કરો. મહેરબાની કરીને ઉપલબ્ધ તારીખોમાંથી પસંદ કરો. મહેરબાની કરીને તમારા આરક્ષણની પુષ્ટિ કરો.
This is something which you actually look at it when you're able to recognize the speech and then take the interactions. There can be more things which can be done out here. The computer can speak out that which station to which station you want to go. That would have required certain changes on the IRCTC application itself. And, the transaction would go through. Go to the next one.
Yeah. Next is the PM Kisan, which we had a very recent launch, and wherein through the voice, a farmer, even the last mile, can access and get to know the grievances, access the solution of regarding anything and everything around the payments, or why the payment has not been made with respect to the schemes he or she is enrolled in. So I'll start a demo here, and you can go through the user journey of PM Kisan.
Hi, let me show you the demo of PM Kisan built using Codework conversational AI platform powered by Bhashini, hosted on Google Cloud. You can select the language of your choice and get started. So here is the welcome message followed by the carousel video. You can click on this and play the video. So also pause this and watch later, and you can also watch it in a full screen. Use the mic and ask your query by voice. भुगतान संबंधी समस्या.
कृपया अपना आधार कार्ड नंबर, लाभार्थी आईडी, मोबाइल नंबर प्रदान करें.
386188302336. क्या ये सही है?
कृपया अपना ओटीपी प्रदान करें.
7483. क्या ये सही है?
यहाँ आपके लिए विवरण है. दिया बेनिफिशियरी नेम बलदेव सिंह ढिल्लों, फादर नेम किशन सिंह ढिल्लों.
Mute or unmute and listen to the audio response. भुगतान प्राप्त नहीं हुआ.
निम्नलिखित कारणों से भुगतान प्राप्त नहीं हुआ है.
प्रिय लाभार्थी, हमारे रिकॉर्ड के अनुसार आपका बैंक खाता आपके आधार नंबर से लिंक नहीं है, इसलिए
If you see this video, it is actually doing all that what NPCI was doing, but it is also going which NPCI was doing to some extent, means it was able to recognize the number and then it was going to the database, linking that number to a name, and then coming back and telling you the name. Here it is able to actually do a GenAI activity that it is in the position to, query the database, find out the information, and then come back to you and say why it is not so. Right? Go to the next one.
And next is there's a social enterprise Darshak, which is implementing Bhashini for this multilingual reach. And one of the question we received was like, how can Bhashini be implemented in the field of agriculture? I guess PM Kisan answered a lot of questions to that question, and also this use case that we are going to demonstrate will also answer the part of that question. Given like a lot of need in the agriculture and farmers are the information aspect, and this bot kind of fulfills that gap. Can look.
Hi everyone. Today we are going to learn about our latest product, which is Yojana Didi chatbot. With this help of this chatbot, one can know about the schemes, various documents, welfare programs, private insurance schemes, private welfare schemes, and information around digital and financial literacy. They can know about how to use UPI as a payment. They can know about various saving products end to end. They can also know about various digital services which they can avail using their phone, sitting in their village or any remote part of the country. This bot can be used by farmers, daily wage earners, women, children, elderly people, and everybody under the sun for which a central government or a state government defines and prepares and designs a welfare scheme. So coming to the features of this bot, this bot has features around scheme linkages and various document linkages in both regional languages and using automatic speech recognition, which means the user can, instead of typing out his open-ended query, can also use the mic button, which is given in the bot, to register his query in voice input form. So we'll start with the demo of the bot. Once we open up the link of the bot, we get to see a greeting message and which asks to choose as a language. So I'll choose Hindi for my conversations. The moment I chose Hindi, it shows me the conversation of the bot converts into Hindi language. Now, here I am shown Yojanaएं, Digital Saksharta, Vittiya Saksharta, Adhik. So I can choose any of the given options to address my query. Let's say I want to know about any Yojana. So I'll click on Yojana tab, and it shows me a list of 3-4 Yojana which I can know more about. It also gives an option of Adhik, clicking on which I can ask any Yojana by calling it out using its name. So let's say I want to know about Anusuchit Jati Atyachar Peedit ke liye Dr. Ambedkar Rashtriya Rahat Yojana. The moment I click on it, it gives me a message. मुझे इसमें आपकी सहायता करने में खुशी होगी. And it will start search for this Yojana. Yojana. खुशी होगी. And it will start search for this Yojana. So this bot gives me my answer of the query in Hindi and also gives the output in voice format. So for a person who is not able to.
So if you can see, this is a very good example where you can also see the speech, the voice-to-voice translation, also the text as well combined in terms of giving and breaking the information asymmetry which people at last might faces. So Agdasha has been implementing this. Yeah.
So in this, if you actually look at it, there are places where the voice intervention, there can be more spaces where voice intervention can be done. Whatever is coming on text, it can come again on voice, and the voice button can be clicked, and you can get the voice out. So go to the next one. No?
Here
Of course,
it is,
yeah. This is about CP grams. This is about voice.
you can see, I can see this, yeah. I'll just show like this is where you can see a website with multi-language over here.
So it is actually choosing the language. And this is basically Prime Minister's grievance portal. So, all the grievance can be logged in. This is on text right now. So we are, again, we'll be adding voice to it. Go to the next one. This is basically, again, giving some ways. Yeah.
I'll go to the next one, which is basically the startup which is using Bhashini in a very interesting way, and have a look on for yourself.
Did you know you can have your textbook read aloud to you? DocTunes can read out loud for you. Listen to anything, anywhere. Just take a picture of any text and you are ready to go. The ancient Egyptians had a highly developed system of they were skilled in diagnosing and treating various ailments. Or upload any online document, textbook, or notes. Save time, be more productive, and unlock the freedom to listen on the go with DocTunes. Mummification, the preservation of a deceased body, held immense cultural significance in ancient Egypt. Listen in 700 plus premium voices. Or you can translate to any specific language you want. मम्मीकरण मृतक का संरक्षण शरीर प्राचीन काल में अत्यधिक सांस्कृतिक महत्व रखता
So here, it is using OCR and, then translating the text and then text to speech. So the three pipeline, the pipeline which uses combination of these three APIs is being used. Go to the next one.
So next is very like right now we showed like you all have seen multiple use cases where you see speech to speech translation, also text to text and speech to text, like all combined. So we do also have a Bhashini beta version app available both on for Android and iOS. And the next video will showcase what features or what experiences that application provides. Feel free to go and download and experiment on your own. But for now, you can have a quick glimpse into how the Bhashini application features.
सुविधाओं का उपयोग करने के लिए कदम अनुवाद शुरू करने के लिए बॉक्स में टाइप करें या माइक का बटन दबाएं। माइक का बटन दबाएं रखें और अनुवाद करना शुरू करें। अनुवाद समाप्त होने के बाद माइक का बटन छोड़ दें और अनुवाद को चुनी गई भाषा में परिवर्तित होने की प्रतीक्षा करें। अब आप अपनी चुनी हुई भाषा में अनुवाद सुन सकते हैं। दिल्ली भारत की राजधानी है। टेक्स्ट सुविधाओं का उपयोग करने के चरण इस प्रकार हैं। टेक्स्ट पर जाएं और एक भाषा से दूसरी भाषा में अनुवाद प्राप्त करने के लिए ऊपरी बाएं और दाएं बक्सों पर क्लिक करें। अपनी पसंदीदा भारतीय भाषा का चयन करें जिसका आप अनुवाद करना चाहते हैं। पसंदीदा भाषा का चयन करने के बाद दिए गए बॉक्स में टेक्स्ट टाइप करना शुरू करें। अनुवाद पर क्लिक करें और अनुवाद को अपनी स्क्रीन पर प्रदर्शित होते देखें। नमस्कार, मैं कोलकाता से मुंबई की यात्रा कर रहा हूँ। कन्वर्स सुविधा का उपयोग करने के चरण आपके द्वारा चुनी गई किसी भी भाषा पर बातचीत शुरू करने के लिए माइक दबाएं। हेलो, हाउ आर यू? हेलो, आप कैसे हैं? भाषिनी ऐप अभी डाउनलोड करें।
So right now, since it's a beta version, text to text you can find in all 22 languages, and the voice feature right now is in 13 languages. But feel free to go download and experiment this. And basis.
So this has almost about 100,000 downloads in last 2 weeks. This is really serving well. We are still at beta version, but things are working out well. So.
And next is line to what the Bhashini beta version mobile application is. We have Anuvad web services, and which I'll show a live demo of it, and you can see it for here. So as you can see, right now this is the Anuvad is available on the Bhashini website. You can go there and you can try and experiment the translation part both in the text and the speech version. So one of the questions that we get, like the more we interact with the organization, is like, can you also do it in English? Like we are not always speak in one language completely. We are like mix of Hindi, English, or the first language, and second combined with the English one. So I'm going to showcase a similar use demonstration, how it is very self-sufficient in catching the mix of both languages as well. So I'll put the voice one and allow, and we'll start. Delhi भारत की कैपिटल है. So here we can see it literally captured every word. It was in English, and here's the translation you can see.
So broadly, this is what we thought of presenting you today. What we have and what can be the possibilities. There are more possibilities which people are talking about in the area of retail, financial transactions, and everything, right? And that is where we are in this setup. So any questions here, I will be happy to answer on how on various aspects of the work which is.
Yeah, there's some questions on the already online posted, I guess. Aparna, if you can read them, and for Amitabh ji.
Yeah, sure. Cannot see the questions.
If you can read, can you read?
Yeah. First question asks, which ASR is being used here? Is it API based or cloud based? How does it work in low or no internet environments?
Amitabh ji, you're on mute.
Yeah, so it is ASR which is developed by Bhashini AI models which are being used, and it is API based, rendered through a cloud network. Low or no network environment, we don't have a clear answer now, because at that places the APIs would not work because internet will not be available. So we still be catching up with the low network environments. So as we don't have an offline version as of now. It would be perhaps sometime when we will come up with miniaturized AI models which can be loaded on the smartphones.
Okay,
Yeah.
here is the question.
Next.
Yeah.
Can we?
Yeah.
So
Next
does that answer, or is there any other question around it?
There is one more question.
I can see the question now. I'll read it. Yeah. Can we get a list of APIs Bhashini is already plugged in? Also list of API apps that is in testing phase.
See, list of APIs, you can, if you download the Bhashini app, you will get the languages for which the APIs are available to be catered. So that is available. A list of Bhashini apps which are under testing phase, these are mostly by partners, and they would be releasing it all by themselves. So we can always tell you like what we are telling you right now, but those will more come from partners, because we believe that the application, the startups will be making more applications than what we will be making. So our job, we are limiting it to API rendering services and making the model more better so that they become more accurate.
So one more question on the same user. How are we increasing awareness of Bhashini in rural areas and remote areas with low internet, and also for target audience where grasping speed and absorbing level of voice is low or slow?
I'm not sure what the second part of the question means, but the first part of the question is that we are, of course, looking at, communities like you to actually take it to the rural areas. We are doing our own marketing and our own outreach programs. So as part of means, we are talking to a lot of non-government organizations as well as government organizations to take it forward. One of the important thing is that our focus is that we should be making as many services multilingual as possible, because when the user is connecting to the government for availing those services, if it becomes multilingual, it helps. Yeah.
The other question is, what is the difference between Google Translate and Bhashini app?
So, Google Translate caters to a lot of international languages. We are focused on Indian languages as well as the low resource languages. In terms of performance, I think you should use both and find the own difference, because that's how we believe that, as high usage would come in. But as I said, about 100,000 people have downloaded the app last week itself. So, you can understand the requirements and the way that the app is functioning. So let me put this across as what is the difference and why do we exist? See, Bhashini actually is basically a Government of India program, and we are focused to our 22 languages. And our main idea is to cater to those low resource languages, which perhaps the commercial organizations will not cater because it will not give them enough, eyeballs as well as the users. So Bhashini is one of the focus while we are working on say Hindi, Bengali, Telugu, etc., Tamil, etc. We are also working on the low resource language, which will keep us apart. Second is that we want to keep this entire market pricing in check, so that we do not let anyone raise the prices as much as they like. So we are currently available free of cost in the market, and if at all it would be charged, it will be at a reasonable price as compared to the market, and will not escalate because we are a Section 8 company and owned by Government of India. The third part of the thing which we are trying to do is that we are ensuring that we create the market for it. For a long time, we did not use our own mother tongue for studying or for communicating or for any other activity, because someone told us in some way that we should be knowing English to succeed in life, right? So our idea would be to be a market maker. So as we see the future, there would be multiple translation engines and multiple applications of this kind. But Bhashini would like to be known for its quality translation and performance. But we will encourage anyone else who comes in. And to be very frank, we are partnering with most of these organizations which have translation models to collect data, organize hackathon, etc., etc. So our role is not only to render the models, but also to make the markets.
Any more questions? Yeah. I'll go to the. Should I go to the next one? Yeah, the next one is which technologies Bhashini is majorly built on, and for using it, does one needs to have a smartphone?
Yeah, currently you need to have a smartphone, but what you saw from the NPCI, we are trying to experiment with the feature phone also. The voice-based payment can be done by a feature phone, right? So there is a possibility of using feature phones to work on this particular technology. Okay.
Yeah, they are like. I'll go to the next one. Yeah. On the website, Bhashatan is mentioned as one of the data collection mechanism. What are the other sources to collect data, specifically the training and benchmarking ones?
Training and benchmarking ones we are collecting it through, as I said, we have about 200 people strong team which is collecting the data from the field. And this is primarily trying to collect high quality data, which is annotated and labeled for as benchmark and training data sets. Yeah.
Adding to that, the same similar to the line, how's the team ensuring that the data collected is relevant in the right format and does not promote biasness, such as gender, caste, geography, etc.?
That is what we are doing is this is being done through the curation center, which we have established in IIT Madras. So we are taking care of most of these aspects. So the data curation actually ensures that we are not getting into a situation where we are allowing these biases to creep into the data sets.
There is like, when are we going live in full capacity? What are the plans to promote it across India? And do we have plans to take it beyond India?
We are already live. These applications are, most of these applications are live. They are at population scale. So it's only a question of creating outreach about it. And that's why we are creating the awareness. And the more people we use it, the better it would be. And it will improve the model as such. So we are live. We are going into a population scale system.
Other question is like, can we like share the link to the ASRAI model built by Bhashini? Does it support most Indian languages? And also, are there any plug and play libraries, apps which are available for the people to try out in low or no network areas?
The models are open source. They are fully downloadable. The data sets are open source. They are fully downloadable. So please do try to create your own applications and own way of testing the application.
I want to share the links where the people can go.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, people can also reach out to us, like can share the email IDs. I'll share, and people who want to use our APIs and have a solution in mind can feel free to reach out to us, and we'll be happy to cater to their answers and provide them services. And yeah, I'll take.
There are other questions, which are there, which I would just try to curate some of it and put it across that you guys can request for APIs. Anyone can request for APIs by sending an email out to us, and we will get the API key and allow to use it. Currently, it is currently it is free of cost, so you can always try and use that particular thing. The other thing which is about sandbox, so sandbox and other things are being answered. So there's university library for APIs which can be utilized for trying, testing, and even benchmarking. The other part of the thing is that if you want there is a question integrating Bhashini app with VR. Any app can be tried out. We are happy to help you out with any of these things. So do come back to us, write to us, and use the use the APIs and give the feedback. The most important thing which I want to basically highlight to you, that when we did this experiments with PM Kisan or NPCI or anyone else, when we started with our normal models to work with them, they did not work. They were about at 50% accuracy or so. But over a period of time, when we started creating that intent classifier, also have the data collected and trained the model, we were successful. So any applications which you are looking at with specific intent, you would always have these challenges, and we would have to work together with you to improve those things so that it renders the quality and quantity of service which we are looking at.
It's project manager and testing or to
Any other questions?
When I logged in.
No. Any other questions from here? No.
Yeah.
I can see 2 projects by default.
Okay. So Amitabh, any other? Sorry, is there anybody else saying something? Oh, it's just background noise. Okay, sorry. No, so Amitabh, thank you. This is fascinating. I know there are project managers, product managers from eGov also on this call, and we have been discussing internally on how to incorporate Bhashini into all the work that we are doing. So we'll start with a couple of use cases. We'll play that out. And I think we'll try and roll it out also in collaboration with you to 1 or 2 states. And I think eventually we should also work with the smart city team and build it into Upyog. And I think that is anyway getting rolled out across the country through Upyog. So I think that is something is a but natural thing for us to do.
Yeah, we would be quite keen on digital upyog because that renders the ecosystem multilingual, See, I can translate one language to other, but the fact of the matter is that if I go to avail a service and then again I have to do the thing on English, or I have some other thing to do, then it will not work out, right? So, the best thing would be that we make the ecosystem multilingual so that the person walks into any government office and he can actually avail the service in a multilingual form.
No, so anyway, so I think broadly what we are looking, Amitabh, is I think while we work on a quarterly plan basis, but I think this we will do some kind of hackathon internally. We'll get the APIs, get some of the people to play around with it, identify a good use case which we can hopefully roll it out before the end of March. We can roll it out into production, and I think that's, if we can get there, that's what I've been challenging the team to.
Yeah.
And if we can get there, then I think, and successfully do that, then we can easily roll it out to many other use cases.
So the other thing, Aparna, you can leave your email ID because people are asking for email ID. And the other thing is that, any type of help, any type of discussions on this is quite, we would be happy to do in future. And of course, about other government apps which are being planned, yes, there are apps provided in education. We would come out in tourism, we will come out in other places also. But, more this remains upon which ministry is actually taking the because when we have to release a comprehensive solution, what we have to do is to actually work with the line ministry. So that if the line ministry agrees, we will be in a position to, put up this multilingual facility on each of the, applications or websites, etc.
Absolutely. So the other thing, Amitabh, and I know some you mentioned low resource language. And I think I also want what can people here do to ensure these contribute also to these low resource languages. I know somebody mentioned Bhasha Dan. I think you should also highlight that and ensure people are contributing to that as well. And also some of the languages, it will be good to understand which languages are actually you think we should try out and is ready to go to production, which are still where we should be contributing more resources to make it more robust.
So if the best guide to that is Bhashini app, actually, the 12 languages are good to go. It will give you the beta languages which are there. So where are not so good. So that is about on text to text, that is about 6 languages. On text to speech, that is about 3 languages. So 13 plus 3, actually 16 is what we cater to, but 3 of them are actually on a beta version. So similar will be the situation, but the continuous update on the languages on Bhashini app.
Yeah. So I think, and I'll also invite most of the team here to download it. I think I've been trying it out for the last couple of days, and it's fascinating.
So it's non-Indian language because the Indian government supported.
What?
International.
No, this is only non-Indian language.
And in the long run, will this
create 5 or 6 more?
What is open source?
This is open source. And as far as international language is concerned, we would go for international. We wouldn't go for international language. Perhaps India is about 100 languages itself. So there's a lot of work to do in India. But yeah, in G20, when we were asked to integrate with Google Translate and Azure APIs to provide a translation from, say, Marathi to Arabic, we were able to do that. So, the system is interoperable.
Yeah, because the base is English. So, yeah. Yeah.
So, have we come across use cases related to accessibility? I mean, people with disabilities
We recently launched a Bhashadhan on sign languages, and there are use cases on accessibility which is coming to, and we are looking at it. How do we cater?
Sign language, I think, yeah, they recently, like he said, mentioned the Bhashadhan is going on. There was an invitation to.
No, but even for the regular things also, like again, like mobile app usage for people.
No, not. There are requests, but we are still to cater to it.
Okay.
We haven't done any major thing.
Okay. No, but are we seeing a kind of demand for people who want to make the mobile apps more accessible?
Yes, there is, but it is not yet well organized to give an answer to us. People have come back. There have been sporadic requests, but not like there is a deluge of requests on this particular aspect. But we are intending to cater to that part as well.
Yeah. Any thoughts, comments? You see, we also from the team online. Where any ideas on how do you think you can use this? If you have some thoughts right now, you can share those thoughts. Otherwise, it'll be good to continue these conversations. I think we'll follow it up with there is already a discussion going on generating ideas with the eGov product team, etc. And then I think we will initiate a small team which will start working on the APIs and start playing around with it and get the technical pieces right. And how do we plan to integrate with it? I think so that work will start off, I think, this quarter.
Sure. And any place where you would like us to be there in terms of participating in hackathons and other things, we would be happy to do that.
Absolutely. So let's try and organize one hackathon as well within eGov. And anyway, we know Parna very well, so we will certainly reach out to you and get this going, Amitabh. So we are excited about this, and I'm sure we will see some production ready things in the next 2 quarters.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you very much, Manish, for organizing this, and let's perhaps try to review it after 3 months or so.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Parna. Thank you, Amitabh.
Thank you, Team eGov. Thank you.